What's up, everybody? I'm Stan, and welcome to Detail Comics, where we go over comics in detail. This is iRate Reviews, the weekly review show where I go over a comic book, its story, its art, give you my impressions, and let you know whether it's something you should go back to the comic book shop for or not. I'm going to be talking about Civil War II, issue number 7. So Civil War II is the current ongoing event, which is crossing over a bunch of different books inside the Marvel Universe, and the most famous thing that it's for is really nothing at this point in time. It has been notoriously delayed, so we're about 2 months after when it actually should have ended, which has resulted in a bunch of different spoilers dropping in Infamous Iron Man, Invincible Iron Man, and a few other books as well. This is issue 7, which was originally supposed to be the final issue, but Brian Michael Bendis decided to stretch it out to 8 issues, so this really isn't the end, I guess. So let's just recount what happened during the story. So Ulysses is standing there in New Attilan with these, inhuman fellows, and then all of a sudden his powers flare up, and he's transported into what can only be perceived as the future. And this future looks very familiar for those folks that were experiencing Old Man Logan, complete with a Hulk bearing down on him until you hear that familiar snikt as Old Man Logan sinks his claws into the back of this Hulkling. So this is kind of like a flash forward into the future that is going to happen. So he's not just seeing a vision of the future, he's actually been transported into the future and can interact with it, which is a very interesting manifestation of Ulysses' powers. And that's probably the only interesting thing that happens in the book. Because what we get is that this is a setup to say that the conflict between Carol Danvers and Tony Stark is the reason that everything happens. We get back and we see Spider-Man is now on the Capitol steps. Captain America shows up after, Maria Hill ushers everybody off of the entire, Capitol area. And then they have a really okay conversation. Spider-Man's just like, you know what? I'm not going to kill you. I'm just here to say I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to prove that doesn't happen. And Steve Rogers is like, yeah, no, same here, man. I'm not planning on killing you either, so I don't necessarily know why we're here. And then all of a sudden, Carol shows up. And because Carol shows up, there's going to be some kind of conflict. And ultimately, she is still pursuing the course where, without any kind of evidence, without breaking any kind of laws, without any kind of insinuation, other than this vision of this inhuman, which has been proven to be flawed and subjective, she still reaches out to try and take Spider-Man into custody. And this is where she finds herself basically blocked by some sort of energy field that wasn't really cast about by anybody else until she realizes that it's Tony. And Tony comes out of nowhere in a bigger, bulkier version of his Iron Man armor, and he is ready to throw down. And it's just, the last 4 or 5 pages, there's just nothing but battle. There's very little banter back and forth between them. It's really just a visual kind of spectacle that goes into things, ultimately finishing off with the blow that is going to be killing Tony Stark. And you can only assume that it's killing Tony Stark because you see the outward explosion from the back of his armor. It's like he is eviscerated. And if he's not, well, somebody did a really terrible job telling David Marquez what he should be drawing on that last page. And this is really a problem. Because if you look at this story, if you look at this entire issue has nothing going on. It has no justification for any of the characters' actions. I mean, Miles Morales and Captain America, they probably have the best. Maria Hill, she's a government agent, so she's got to, make sure that things stay calm, especially around the Capitol building. But Miles Morales is there, hey, I'm not going to do anything wrong, man. You don't have any right to detain me. I haven't done anything yet. And Captain America is just like, yeah, you haven't done anything. I think Carol's gone too far. And ultimately, it's just an unearned conflict. There's no justification on either side to get to this level of escalation, and that just frustrates the shit out of me. This is a terrible book. I don't say that about anything, but the writing, the way that everything has been formulated, the way that everything's set up, it just feels bad. It doesn't, there's no investing, there's no real plausible way that people could get to these conclusions. There's no way that the emotional kind of turmoil that's been built up in these folks can bring them to these particular breaking points. I just don't feel like anything in this entire series is justified. And the fact that we had to wait 2 extra months, I get it. David Marquez had a kid, totally fine. I wish him the best, and he does a phenomenal job on the art. It is a beautiful book to look at. I have never seen superheroes smoking superheroes look so good. But Brian Michael Bendis stretching this event out to 8 issues for no foreseeable reason, unless there is some sort of world beater of a reveal that I don't care about in issue number 8, this is just a complete waste of a series of comic books that did nothing but ruin the continuity of other comic books in the series. It is the worst kind of event. Wow, I really don't like this. I never realized how much I don't like this until I just said that right now, because I can't find anything redeeming other than the art. It looks good, and that's about it, because everything about this story, the story was haphazardly put together. It has no justification for anything. The only thing it's going to leave behind is the bodies of the superheroes that it killed during it, and the need to put those into continuity because it is the largest Marvel crossover event of the year. I mean, wow, this sucks. And I'm sorry if you're enjoying it. I'm just looking at it from a perspective of the way that you tell stories. You have to give some sort of emotional justification. You have to give a logical conclusion as to why characters can get to that point. You know, if there's nothing inherently evil about either of these superheroes, how do they ever come to the situation where they are going to blows about somebody that hasn't done anything yet without any kind of proper justification? There is no justifiable scenario, and that is the worst part about this. There's no investment, period, and there's no way that you can consider yourself invested in it. If you want to just, have a popcorn movie of a comic book and just be like, oh my god, it looks good, that's perfectly fine. But if you want to have any kind of depth to the story that you're reading, this is nowhere to be. And I am not surprised in the least that people have been leaving Marvel comic books in droves as this has kind of unfolded. Because this main crossover event, while it does sell a ton of issues, it's just not good. It's not good at all. The tie-ins break the entire structure of stories that they were in. You can take very good stories, and if you inject Civil War II just because you need to inject Civil War II in there, it breaks them and it makes people not want to read them anymore because it's not a good event. I can't in good conscience recommend anybody read this because I don't feel like it's worth the money that I'm spending on it, but I spend the money so that way I can justify telling you guys not to buy it. So it's just really bad. It's not good. I don't like it at all. It's the worst part about comic books in general. If this was a situation where this was thought out and it was planned and it was integrated into the entire structure of Marvel, it would be way better because you would have the ability to kind of earn these different things, to explore these different perspectives, and it's just not the case. Yeah, Civil War II, issue number 7, Civil War II in general is just not, it's not anything that you should be reading, and I can't in good conscience recommend it to anybody. So that's my review of Civil War II number 7, but I want to know what you guys thought about it too, because I'm spitting some serious venom at this book. I am not really stoked on it at all, but I want to know what you guys think, so hit me up in the comments. As always, if you like what you see, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe right there to get more news, reviews, and commentary on comic books, comic book movies, comic book TV shows and games, and anything and everything inside the world of comics.